Hey everybody, it's Brad.
And I'm Christa.
With the Big Family Homestead. And today we're talking about a very serious subject. And you know how I like to joke around, but it's actually really serious.
Yes.
And that's food storage. We don't have to tell you why anymore. Everybody is now painfully aware of why you should be keeping some food on the shelves more than a few days in your house.
Yep.
More than a few months in your house, because the pandemic and quarantines and lockdowns and all the crud that is going on has made everybody now aware that, wait a minute, those preppers are not crazy.
No, we aren't the craziest people on the planet.
Well,
maybe. Maybe.
But not for those reasons.
But
not for food reasons.
not for food reasons and not for food storage reasons. No.
So I thought it would be a good idea to go through our experience and share some of our knowledge with you guys as to how, why, what,
when, where, no.
Get started, and also you don't have to go through a lot of the garbage that a lot of people are going through now. Because I'm here to tell you, people. If you think this is over, it ain't over. I think we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. Whether you have an R in front of your name or a D in front of your name or an L in front of your name or nothing,
right.
It don't mean nothing. There are people that are above us that are leaders that some are trying to do good and some are not trying to do good, and none of that matters when it comes to whether or not you have food to feed your family or not.
Right.
You've got to take precautions that what if something worse happens? And that's a reality, people. I mean, we're seeing it, we're living it. All you got to do is turn on the news. So I'm not even going to go there.
Right.
That's it. Dropped.
Lecture over.
Lecture over. You know we need to do it.
Right.
So how did we start?
It was about 10 years ago. And it started, honestly, I think, with beekeeping. Didn't it start with beekeeping?
Actually,
we wanted to keep bees.
Well, the reason why, okay, and we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes, but this is why we started. Actually, I was listening to that crazy guy, Alex Jones.
Yep.
Alex Jones is a radio, YouTube, internet personality who
talk show host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's really abrasive, but he was right about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he basically kept pointing out, guess what, people? Stuff's going to happen. And doggone it if he wasn't right, even though the guy was really, really abrasive in a lot of his ways.
Yeah. He was hard to listen to. Because a lot of it was yelling, and that was hard.
And we stopped listening to him.
We stopped listening, but the message that he was sending out to, at least to us and to the world, is you need to get prepared, folks. You need to be prepared.
Well, that was one of his things, but
one of his messages that's stuck to us is what I mean to say. And
so I kind of panicked because it was like, I don't know how to do anything like gardening. I don't know how to do anything like fixing a car or anything that's outside of a recording studio or writing a song or playing in a band. I didn't know how to do it. And it was like, wait a minute, we have probably 3 days of food in our house.
And at the time, we had 5 kids.
So, at home.
At home, yeah.
We have 7 altogether.
Well, yeah, at the time we had 5 young children, one with special needs, and we relied on the pharmacies and the medical professionals to get us her food.
Our daughter Grace says she's got a lot of special needs.
Right. So that was the beginning of the process and trying to figure out how we take care of our family and her. And
so first things first, go cheap, but get some shelf-stable stuff on the shelves.
Right.
And I brought some visual aids.
You did. Don't worry if it's organic or non-GMO.
To start.
Yeah, to start with. Because if there's no food on your shelves, it's not going to matter if it's organic or non-GMO.
You'll eat cardboard.
Yeah, right.
If there's nothing there and no way to get it.
Right.
You guessed it. Rice. Rots and rots of rice. Brown rice, whole grain rice, multi-grain rice, far better nutritionally for you than white rice, and it's not that much more money.
Right.
We get this stuff in boxes this is the instant kind, costs you a little bit more, but it's ready to go a lot faster.
Yeah.
It's up to you whether or not you'd rather get like an extra pound without having the instant for the same amount of money.
Right.
My recommendation is go with the bagged up stuff, the cheap stuff first. Then when you got a good amount of that on your shelf, and we're going to talk about amounts here in a little bit. When you got that, then you start filling in the gaps. Yep. Rice. What else?
Seasonings. Make sure you have a variety of seasonings.
Well, because you're going to start with your beans. You're going to start with your rice. You're going to start with all of those things that are going to sit on the shelf for a long time and not go bad and can be cooked in a variety of ways, but you're going to get sick of it.
You're going to get tired of plain beans and rice. So if you can have different ways to season that said beans and rice, then you're going to be a lot happier.
Yeah. Food fatigue. That's the term for it. Food fatigue. When you eat the same thing again and again and again. Well, first of all, you're going to get sick.
Right.
You need variety. The nutritional content has to be there or you will get sick.
Right.
You may sustain life for a long time, but you'll be in a starvation mode.
Right.
And so while the seasonings aren't going to help that nutritional level,
no,
they'll keep you a lot happier if it doesn't taste the same way every day.
It doesn't taste like cardboard every day.
Beans, rice,
flour, sugar.
Basics.
Those are huge. Have flour. Learn how to make bread, folks.
She's got so many videos.
There's so many videos, and even not just mine. There's so many videos out there. It took me forever to learn how to make bread properly. And then I finally found one recipe that just went step by step by step. And we have a video on it. It's the Amish white bread video. It's just worked every time. If you just follow the steps. Bread making is like science. If you don't follow the proper procedure, you're going to have a lump of goo. And then your flour is wasted. So
it's still food.
It's still food. You can still eat it, but it's not going to taste very good.
And it's like a brick. Trust me.
Pretty much, I've made lots of bricks.
My wife,
lots
who is lovely and beautiful and very gifted and talented and amazing bread baker,
now
wasn't always.
No.
So I choked down many bricks.
To amuse me.
No, because I'm like, keep going, baby. One step closer.
I finally got it. But anyway, learn how to make bread. Don't just wait until it hits the fan and it's too late to learn how to do this. Learn now.
Exactly.
Learn now.
Basic ingredients. That's what you got to think of. Salt. You'll die without salt, and salt is cheap.
Right.
You can get one of those big canisters for 50 cents.
Right. Salt is
Why
cheap.
not put 6 of them on the shelf? You know, think of what makes your food. Pasta stays on the shelf a long time. Now, I know that there are expiration dates on pasta. We have eaten 7, 8-year-old pasta.
Yeah.
No difference.
Yeah. Just keep it in a bucket, like a
dry
bucket with a lid on it. It keeps critters out and it keeps it dry, and keep it in a cool place, and it'll be forever.
But think of those basic ingredients. The flour, that's an important one.
Flour, sugar, I mean, shoot, just get all-purpose white flour.
Just to start with.
Just to start with. Just practice with it. You know, then and then, you know what? If you get the all-purpose flour and you don't spend a lot and you mess it up, it's really okay. It's not going to be, you're not spending a ton of money on something that you're going to have to throw away.
Right.
Yeast is another thing.
Huge.
Huge thing. If you want to make fluffy bread, you need yeast. Yeah, you can make you can make pan breads with baking soda and baking powder, but you know what? It's just nothing like a yeasty bread. You can make quick breads with baking soda and baking powder, but yeast you can keep in the freezer.
It'll stay for a long time.
It stays for years. I have some that we've had for what, 8 years? Easy.
Still works great.
It's still active. It's still great. So
now, basic ingredients.
Yeah.
One thing that we found that really is important is figure out and do your research on how to store these things properly. Because just because you went and bought it does not mean it's going to be good 5 years from now. For example, the way that you store rices and beans and flours, we get the 5-gallon buckets from Home Depot. We get the Homer buckets.
Yep.
Then you can buy Mylar bags that fit into those buckets. You put your food in there. Then you put oxygen absorbers in there and you seal them so they're airtight.
Yep.
Now, does that mean they'll be good for 25 years? No.
No.
But it does mean it's going to be a lot longer term. And we're not going to get into specifics of this food and that food.
No.
Because it's just too crazy. But do your own research, but it elongates the life by scads.
Oh, yes, lots.
And that's a real term.
It is.
Scads.
Scads of time, yes.
So, basic ingredients. Now, here's a resource that I want to show you. And we're not making any money off this at all.
Well, we are not part of this particular organization either.
We're not.
But the material that is in this resource is fantastic. This is part of their culture to be prepared.
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Right. So this is part of their religion. To have a year's worth of food storage on their shelves for every person in their house. So it goes through a list of everything. You know, how many pounds of this per person? How many pounds of that? Go to the table of contents and you can just read off a few different things.
Okay, for example, I'm going to just show you. I mean, you can't really read each thing this quick. But, like, per person, you need 185 pounds of vegetables. There looks like 25 things here for the entire family if you have a family of 4. So you need at least
1 pound of beets.
Yeah, it just goes on and on and on.
Yep.
Baking sodas, auxiliary foods, water, salt, meats,
canned meats,
fruits. There's checklists in here, and you can get this thing cheap. And I believe there's a resource for you to download a PDF for free.
Right. So, I think the book, when we got it, it was $19.99.
But it's so worth it.
But it's so worth it to have it in the printed form because you see how thick it is. It's like 1.5 inches thick. If you went to print that out, that's a lot of paper.
Wouldn't be worth it.
No, not. I mean, a laser printer wouldn't be a big deal, but you know,
even still, you'd probably go through a lot of toner.
Yeah, totally. But I think the PDF was free.
Yeah, there is a free PDF. Yeah. But that book does not just cover food. It covers how to store it, how to keep it, where to keep it, temperatures, home defense.
I was going to say home security,
It goes through all kinds of survival type stuff. Yeah. But I want to stay really focused on food.
Right. We're talking just about food.
Okay. Now, one of the things that is no surprise to you guys is that we love our Thrive Life freeze-dried food.
Right.
There's a huge difference between freeze-dried food and dehydrated food. Dehydrated is great if that's all you can do.
Right.
Or maybe you got a garden and you want to prolong the life of your stuff and you can dehydrate some. can some, learn how to can food. But freeze-dried is completely different.
Right.
For example, this, as I fall over.
Nice, don't do that.
This is meat. This is steak.
Beef.
These are beef chunks that have been sitting on our shelf for a year. And they don't require refrigeration.
Nope.
This is a big piece of beef. And all that it is in here is beef.
Yeah. And when rehydrated, it has the same taste and texture of beef, real beef. And
that's all it is.
The ingredients on that is
beef and salt.
salt.
I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try to get it over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Beef and salt. I
Right.
was doing that so the camera will focus on
Oh,
this.
I figured.
But they were like, what are you doing that?
No, I figured that's what you're doing. The
Shelf stable.
it is shelf stable for 25 years unopened. Once you open it, the majority of the ingredients will last for a year on your shelf. If you buy the big cans like Brad showed you, you can, it's a better deal to buy them in the larger cans, but you can also vacuum, like take out what you need, and then you can vacuum seal the rest.
So it stays longer.
It doesn't reach that 25 years once you've opened it, but it does,
longer.
Extend that 1 year way past the 1 year.
Now, why freeze-dried? Shelf stable.
Right.
Oh, pause, rewind. Start gardening.
Start a garden.
Today.
Yes.
I don't care if you're in an apartment, get a bucket, go buy some dirt.
Right.
Learn how to grow some food.
Right.
Grow whatever will grow in your area.
And grow what you will eat. That's huge. Don't grow squash if you hate squash. Don't grow tomatoes if you don't like tomatoes.
Grow cucumbers if you like cucumbers.
Grow cucumbers. You can grow cucumbers all winter long inside if you'd like.
You can. And we have videos on how to grow in buckets.
Yeah.
And it's possible. And you can get even the grow lights that used to be used for nefarious purposes only. You can get them cheap now because there's so many people that are doing it.
Right, right.
You can get them very cheap.
Right. You can have your own little garden inside your house with, just a minimal amount of startup.
People ask us all the time, why do you tell people about freeze-dried food if you have your own garden? Well, how about this? Pineapple's not growing here in Wisconsin.
No. Even with a greenhouse, we're not.
I don't care.
Here.
Yeah, because it takes long.
It takes 18 months to grow pineapple.
And I would really like to have the nutritional thing that is in pineapple.
Well, there's lots of vitamin C in pineapple, which up here we don't have a lot of resources except for cranberries, which we needed to get this fall. We still could probably.
We got a lot of raspberries.
Right, but we need a lot of cranberries too. But
I digress.
Sorry, that was a little squirrel.
Pineapple, we want it in our life.
Right, and we can't grow bananas here. So we have bananas in a can.
We personally purchase stuff that either we can't grow here or is really hard to grow here or is not cost effective to do it on your own.
Right.
Like you, for example, may go, holy smokes, that can of ground or that can of beef is very expensive. Well, for us, we can raise our cows here, and for us, it's a supplement that we have on the shelf just in case. But for us, it's a heck of a lot cheaper to raise our cows and then have a butcher process our cows.
Right.
But then you still have to think about this. Canning. Canning is an option for everybody, guys. Even if you don't have access to your own cows or your own chickens or your own garden, you can go buy food in bulk that you get deals and then can it, and then it's shelf stable for a long time. Right.
Limit your freezer use if you possibly can. If you can beef, chicken, vegetables, green beans, corn. We've done green beans and corn for a couple of years. And those are our favorite vegetables. So yeah, we're going to can a lot of those. But if you can can them,
you're going to save a lot of money.
You're going to save a lot of money, and it's shelf stable.
Yep.
if you put it just in the freezer, it can get freezer burn after a couple of years. And then
what if the power goes out?
Then I was just getting ready to say that. What if the power goes out? Then all of that is wasted.
Every bit.
Every bit of it. So, you know, we actually had one of our freezers break. So
we lost a lot of food.
We didn't lose as much as we thought we were gonna, but we had to cook a lot of stuff right away. And
we had to play that game Tetris and figure out how we can fit everything else into the other freezers,
right.
But we still lost a lot.
We still lost some stuff, yes. Yeah.
And
so we need to listen to our own advice and don't use a lot of freezer space. Don't use your freezer a ton.
Well, and the idea that I can have grapes on my shelf for 25 years and open them up and they are as nutritious as the day that they were freeze-dried.
They're so good.
And they're like candy.
They are. Anytime I need something sweet, this is what I go to. Because it has that sugars are concentrated, so I can just take a couple and...
Well, and hear this, that yes, we love our Thrive Life stuff, and yes, we would love for you to get some. That's all well and good. More important than that is we really want you just to get set. Get your family set.
Get your family taken care of so that you don't have to
rush
worry
around
about...
and freak out.
Right. Worry about having to, you know, go and make a run to the store. And
what if there's nothing there?
Right.
That just happened. That happened a lot, even here.
Even up here, where a lot of folks raise their own beef and chickens and raise their own vegetables, there was one Walmart that had absolutely no beef in it because of what happened with this virus and the beef industry.
It was gone.
It was gone.
Yeah, there was times that we went to Aldi, we went to Walmart, and there was nothing there.
There was nothing there, and they were also limiting what you could get because a lot of folks were stocking up.
Well, yeah.
They were stocking
up.
As they should, but they should have already been doing that.
Well, the supply chain was obviously not ready for that.
No, they were not.
So the question is, what happens if there's no food at the store? What would you be able to take care of the family? Yeah. And so what we've been talking about, please, please, please take it to heart, but also think about this, that if you say, okay, well, I really see the need, and Thrive Life sounds like a pretty good deal. Maybe I could get into a delivery program.
Yes, the delivery is awesome.
Hold on. I'm sorry, baby.
No, go ahead.
You don't have to be a consultant.
No.
We are consultants because it's part of our business. That's one of the ways we make money, which, thank you very, very much. Yes. Honestly.
Yes.
But if you're just like, I don't want to do that whole, you don't have to. No. You can just buy what you want, or you can be like, I'm going to spend $50 a month and I'm going to be on a delivery program. And that's that. Right. And she can tell you about that.
So if you decide you want to be part of the delivery service,
there's no fee.
There's no fee. It's free. You sign up with an email. You can set your grocery box or your grocery cart every month for the next 3 or 4 months, and it just automatically charges your card and then automatically ships it. You can change it every month. You can change the date. You can skip a month if you like. It's not. That's the beauty part.
You're not locked in.
You're not locked in. There's no minimum requirement on how much you order. Now, if you order over $100, then the shipping is free. But shipping. There's no minimum, no maximum you have to purchase, nothing. It's you go in there, you add the groceries you would like, and then it automatically charges your card and ships.
One thing I want to add to that is that it's not hard to cancel because all you do is turn it off.
Right.
They don't make it, like how some companies
make it darn near impossible to
find.
We
just canceled our Netflix. Oh,
yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she searched for like 10 minutes to find how to shut it off.
Yeah, they made it very inconspicuous. It was right on the page, but it was very inconspicuous. But with Thrive, you go into your account and you can edit your deliveries and you can skip it or you can just shut it off and cancel it. So it's not, it's very easy to do.
Now, I will say, a lot of people have been saying, Brad, Christa, I love Thrive Life. I love what they're doing. I love the whole thing. However, there's a lot of ingredients that are not readily available right now. And I'll have to tell you, that's true.
Right.
However, right on the very front page, guys, it says check our inventory. And that will take you to what's called a picker page.
Right.
Meaning, here's what we have.
Right.
Because of the virus and all of the junk that's going on, what's happened, it's not Thrive Life's fault.
No.
It's actually the supply chain. It's that the people that actually grow and raise the food can't get it to them.
Right, right. The farmers can't get it to thrive fast enough for Thrive Life to be able to freeze dry it. So,
however, they update that all the time. Sometimes even daily, sometimes weekly.
Sometimes hourly.
Yeah, it just depends on what they get when, but they do update it. So I check it at least every couple of days because there's stuff we like and they're our favorites.
Well, there's stuff that we need for Grace's food. Our daughter Grace eats through G-tube, and so we use our raw milk from our cow and mix it with a freeze-dried powder that we have customized for her diet. And I take those freeze-dried ingredients and blend them, and it makes her food. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm an ADD kind of guy, and I'm just thinking to myself is like, I wish that we could have been sounding the alarm 8 years ago.
We have been, though. I mean, we started we started sounding the alarm 5 years ago when we started YouTube.
True.
You know.
I don't know. Now that the channel is bigger, it's just like you have an opportunity to talk to more people, and so I'm like, okay, time out, flag on the flag. We are believers. We're Christians, and we feel like God is getting ready to do something bigger than anything you've even seen right now. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. We don't do fear.
We don't do fear. No. It's be prepared.
However, it is be prepared.
Be prepared.
However, now that the channel is to a size that it is, we have an opportunity to talk to more people. And hopefully, my goal, my hope is that enough of you guys will listen to the message and go, yeah, maybe I should at least do blah, blah, blah. You'll make it through.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the hope. And even if you don't, think about it like this. It's a hedge against inflationary food prices, because food always goes up.
Yeah. And think of it like insurance. You
It
you have
is.
car insurance, you have homeowners insurance.
Good point.
In case you get into a crash or your house catches on fire, why not have some food insurance? Honestly.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a crazy thought to have, you know, a couple of months on hand of food.
Yeah.
You know, for every person in your house, at least 2 to 3 months of food.
Yeah. I agree.
So,
Well, clearly I agree.
Of course we agree.
Anyway, so if you're interested in maybe doing this as a business, email me.
Yeah.
I'll send you all the, you know, who's it's and what's it's, and then you can decide on your own. We don't do pressure. I don't at all. No. Zero pressure.
It's, you know what? We're showing you what we really like. And if you don't, that's
okay.
fine. That's fine. But there's lots of people out there who do.
Yeah. We'll still get hate mail, even though we're just trying to encourage you to put food on the shelves.
You know what?
That's whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, there it is. Links are down below for all of that. Contact us if you're interested. Get signed up for a delivery if you want. If not, have a beautiful and blessed day.
That's right.
Either way.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.